All right, so we are now recording. I'm going to introduce myself. Good afternoon. My name is Menhani Habte. Rather, good morning. It's Friday, November 14th, 2008. The time right now is 10 a.m., and I am interviewing Sameerah Siddiqui, who is a community organizer with the Clergy and Laity United of Los Angeles.
United for Economic Justice.
Yes, for economic justice. Oh, okay. Clue LA. Sorry about that. If you could just go ahead and just tell me a little about yourself, your background, some of your experiences, and basically some of the efforts you've been involved in with Clue LA.
Okay. So my name is Sameerah Siddiqui. I was raised most of my life in Southern California. I did my undergrad at UC Davis up north, and it was sort of there that I became more involved in politics, social justice issues, economic justice. I was raised in a family that was, always very, pro-labor, the environment, very, my family was very engaged in sort of like community organizations, what have you. But really, once I left home and actually went to college, I kind of took it upon myself to actually engage myself and not just kind of go where my parents went. Anyway, so while I was there, I started bioengineering. Didn't like that, so I ended up doing international relations, minored in economics. I was like a pre-law student. I did an internship at a law firm in London, and I realized that just wasn't what I wanted to do. That wasn't, I wanted to actually, be a part of people's lives and actually, see them through change rather than being at the, kind of the end process. Law is very important, but I wanted to be in a different place. So when I was done with that, I came back to Southern California, and I heard about Clue. I applied, and that's how I ended up at Clue. It was more sort of, I had always studied politics, political science, political theory, but it was radically different to actually do politics and to see how it actually plays out on the ground. So that's how I ended up at Clue.
And, I guess you already knocked down one of my questions. What compelled you to take a stand in the community?
So that's actually a little different. Clue is, we involve, we organize religious leaders, communities of faith. And so really it was my faith, when I was studying in school, you're constantly studying these issues. The war in Iraq broke out, towards my senior year. And a lot of things were happening, and it was really my faith that constantly calls us to do justice in the world. And so that's what really compelled me to take a stand and to see that, if you want to change things, you yourself have to take it upon yourself to make that difference.
And what year did you graduate from UC Davis?
Oh gosh, when did I graduate? Is it 2004? Yeah, 2004.
Oh, okay. I graduated in 2000. Oh, actually, I'm graduating this year, but... what are some of the issues that Clue LA supports in addition to the Port Truckers campaign, the Clean Trucks campaign that the Port of Long Beach and LA has been supporting?
Right. So Clue is Clergy and Laity United for Economic Justice. So our mission, we're dedicated to helping the working poor. And I'll just give a little background as to how we started so you understand what we do. Back in the mid-90s, a lot of religious leaders in West LA realized that there was greater polarization between between different groups. You had more of the have and have-nots. And it was because of the realization that a lot of these service industries were cropping up in Los Angeles, hospitality, janitorial services, what have you, that, and they were predominantly immigrant, and they were getting paid near poverty wages. And so it was a call to justice to actually help these workers get paid decent wages and to have fair working conditions, what have you. And so as these religious leaders began to support these workers in these different industries, Clue LA basically formed. And since then, we are dedicated to helping the working poor to gain a voice in the workplace, as well as to organize if that's something that's going to help them in their industry. And so we've just continued that. So we work on, one of our campaigns was Justice for Janitors. It was security guards. It was the hospitality workers in all of the, major hotels along Century Boulevard, which leads into LAX. And recently we've done food service, for all of the downtown buildings. The workers who do the food preparation, we've actually helped them, I think, at the Staples Center to actually get a contract to get paid decent wages, a living wage.
I've also noticed that this facility, the headquarters of Lane and Clue LA, also houses another major organization, Unite Here, and for quite some time they've been involved in. They're a major union representing hotels and services and all these other hospitality-related businesses. And I do understand that from quite some time there has been a lot of organizing. There's been a lot of protesting. Recently, I think it was about 2 years ago, there was a boycott of the Hilton Hotel by LAX,
It's continuing, yes.
and it's still continuing. Has Clue LA been involved by any
Yes.
chance with any of these organizations?
So actually, when I started with the organization of the campaign.
With the campaigns
Okay.
and even with the organizations
Right.
themselves.
So Clue, we do work with we do all of our campaigns are in coalitions. We work with other partners. We believe in it's not just one group that can move make policy changes. It's actually the concerted efforts of many organizations with different specializations that actually move campaigns forward. And it's very forward thinking. Historically, a lot of groups just kind of did it on their own. We've seen that we've been much more effective, having a more integrated approach. So yes, we are involved with Hilton LAX. Actually, when I first started Clue, I did an internship, and I started my campaign. And so what we did is we went out to different religious, different clergy throughout the Los Angeles area, focusing on that area of their Westchester, what have you, telling them about the stories of the workers, bringing the workers into their congregation and talking about their stories. Doing tours of that area, seeing that this is the gateway basically to Los Angeles, and when people come in, they're staying at hotels that are where the workers are earning poverty wages. They have enormous workloads. They have they work with severe pain every single day, and they have families, and often a lot of these workers are working 2 to 3 jobs. There's no time to take care of their kids. So we went out there and we organized a lot of religious leaders around this, and this has been one of the biggest campaigns. Although Hilton LAX has not listened to their community and especially addressed the concerns of the workers, we have been very successful. Many other hotels along Century Boulevard have actually recognized the union, and some of the workers there have union contracts, which provides them a living wage, representation in the workforce, what have you, the workplace. Sorry.
And you say that some of these hotels, such as Hilton LAX, the employees there usually work a certain amount of time, and they earn a certain amount of money. I was wondering if you could get kind of into the specifics. How much do these? From your experience or from maybe some of these information you've gathered, how much do these workers earn, and how many hours do they work, if you know?
Okay. So I was on this campaign maybe about 3 or 4 years ago, so some of the stuff has changed, but from what I recall, when I was working on the campaign, what had happened was the Hilton LAX, or the other campaign, actually I was working on the Radisson. So, and this is sort of, even though I was working on the Radisson, these conditions were indicative of a lot of the hotel workers. So what happened was that after 9/11, the hotel industry saw a major drop in occupancy. And so what they did is they cut a lot of staff, and they doubled up the hours and the amount of work for the remaining staff. And sometimes management changed. The hotel wasn't doing well, so they changed management. And when